Welcome to episode 2 of my series, How to Use, the series where I explain blocks and how to use them when building in Minecraft. Today we will be going over the last 4-ish basics of the woods. There's a few other basic woods like Pale and Mangrove. Those are going to be covered next episode alongside Crimson and Warped. But as you can see in the background, we have Dark Oak, Jungle, Acacia, Bamboo, and Cherry. I'm not covering Dark Oak. I did that last episode. I don't know why I said it. Because I was standing here. Anyways, so let's just get straight into Jungle. Jungle, I feel, gets underused as the best way to say it, because a lot of times when I see it, it's not there most of the time, because most people kind of just see Jungle as slightly pink-ish version of Oak, which it kind of is. It is a really good fill-in for when you have, say, a bunch of oak buildings and you just want to spice it up a bit. Now, Jungle Wood, however, has some really good gradients. It pairs really well with packed mud and exposed copper, as well as brown mushroom. And most of these palettes are like really good palettes. They're not palettes, gradients. Palettes are the next thing. And anyways, speaking of palettes then, Jungle Wood pairs really nice with Tough. I like using it with mud and some green. We'll be seeing that over there. It also looks good with some yellows sometimes. We'll be seeing that right there. And I haven't fully used this palette, but I have seen it a lot where this palette is used. So first, one of the best ways to use Jungle is actually in making palm trees, because the leaves and the fence are really good for making them. Now here is a bad example, because I'm not very talented at making these trees. If you want a good example, I suggest looking up Mog Swamp. He makes some really good jungle trees, and that's where I got the inspiration for making these, why did I say jungle tree? Palm trees. I'm talking fast. So, right here now is a little ocean-side beach shack thing. I think this looks really good. Oh, you shouldn't see that. I think it looks really good. I kinda copied from an image, but not really. I changed it a bit, but it's the same vibe. So if you see that, you did it. Don't look at the fact that I just put it up on screen. So over here we have, what's the best way to describe this? This is my style that I've been building in for, what's it called, my actual main series. I just put hotel because that's 5-letter word. And I don't know if I like the fact that the door's off center. I probably wouldn't do that if I were actually making it, or at least make it so that the door is only one wide. And I'd probably make this a 2-story house or whatever thing. But it does still look good because Jungle pairs really well with the packed mud. Next, we're gonna go on to Acacia. So Acacia is another very underused block. A lot of these blocks are gonna be underused because those wood types are the main wood types that we already covered. So Acacia is really interesting because although it's like planks and its stripped version is a really nice shade of orange, like it's really bright so you can use it in very vibrant builds, the bark or log is actually gray, so it can be used in a bunch of grayscale builds, which that has had a lot of effects where I don't really see acacia planks that much, but I do see acacia logs a lot in like terraforming cliffs and stuff. Now, these are some of my most favorite gradients. I love this yellow to orange gradient, especially because of the extremes, like the resin, the gold. They look really cool. This This orange to blue is always great. Orange and blue being complementary colors, they fit really nice together, and this is just a really nice and easy way to go from that. Then right here, we're using the Acacia log, and we're just going down to black, and that looks really good. And now for color swatches. Color block, you get what I mean. So, it pairs really well with the Acacia. What am I talking about? Okay. It pairs really well with andesite. I like when the two mix. This is usually used for like a nice trim alongside like roofs or the bottom. It always looks good. And then this one, the blue, and it's orange with the blue to add pop of color, and the sandstone to kind of have a neutral tone. I used it over there. It looks really good when it's used right. And for the... Oh, I forgot to mention something. I'm changing these. On screen now, you will see the 4 different ones from before, because I found that just doing complementary, analogous, split complementary, and tertiary, they just kind of kept doing the same ones, and they never actually fit to what I believed were great color or block palettes, or good pairings. Because a lot of the time, they were like, do it with blue concrete powder. Like, who is actually building with blue concrete powder if it's not for, like, a massive terraforming project? No one's actually making a house out of that stuff. So, little rant aside, but now we have dark oak, acacia, and stone, which these both are principles I talked about earlier, with the dark prismarine being like the prismarine and the stone being like the andesite. Nice neutral color with a big pop of color. Not big. Dark prismarine, it's a more muted one. Not muted, but like, it's not as big and in your face as regular prismarine. And then right here we have one of those trees. I don't know its actual name. I might need to look it up. I'll put it on screen if I can find it later. I've always just called them upside down trees, because I remember reading this thing back in like 2nd grade where it was like talking about how these trees work and how they can look upside down. Now, onto this, and I actually really love this. Most of these builds, they're kind of haphazardly put together, they're just facades, but I think this looks really good with the nice pop of colors, with the very, like, what's it called? I said it earlier, with the neutral kind of base. I think that looks really good, and I might actually start using this in my forever world, because I still haven't built anything in that like area of my world, so I might just start stealing this. But that is the downside of me that I would need to build a guardian farm, which would be fun. I'm being sarcastic. Anywho, bamboo. Now bamboo, there's 2 really good 3-ish properties there's actually a lot of properties. 1, it's infinitely replaceable and automatic. You don't even have to do any like TNT duping or massive farms to get a bunch. You literally just have to set up a line of bamboo, an observer line, and a piston line. You don't even need an observer line, you just need 1 observer to power all the pistons. And then you have infinite wood. So bamboo, really good for if you need to make mass amounts of chests, mass amount of like bows or sticks. It's really good in automation, which I know that if you're watching the series, you're not really going to be big into that, but I think it is important to mention. Alongside the fact that you can have both green and yellow, like these are very big pops of color. Because yellow, I've seen it used instead of like gold, because gold is rarer sometimes. But here we have, let's see, the mosaics, which the mosaics are really cool because if we just pair all three of these together, look how varying the textures are. Well, half varying. This literally is just half of this with half of this, but what's happening is it really blends well with other stuff, and it just adds a lot of variety, so it's not just a big wall of this. Anyways, on to the gradients. Gradient 1, it's a little off. I couldn't find a great stepping stone between jungle and bamboo, but it is still a good one. Alongside this, where we go from yellow to green, we just go from strip bamboo to regular bamboo, and then we go from regular bamboo all the way down to resin, which also looks really good. I always love this thing, if I haven't already said that 20 times in these videos. So obviously, bamboo looks good with its not stripped version. That's like a guarantee. And I think it also looks really good with a neutral, and like, I wouldn't say mud bricks is also another neutral, but it is very close to one. It also looks good with jungle and moss, which is kind of the principles of before. And then I think it looks really good with andesite and spruce planks. Not as much as the others, but it still does look pretty good. Usually the spruce will be used as like a trim, while the actual jungle and andesite are the main body of the house. And something cool you can do with bamboo is make these like small little patches of bamboo in a forest. Now, bamboo in real life grows really fast, needs barely anything to grow, like at all. Barely any light, barely any nutrients. So, if there's some bamboo, there's gonna be a lot of bamboo. So, this isn't an accurate representation of how bamboo actually grows, because it would be so much more dense and tall. But string is really nice, because if you... I'll show this quickly. If we grab some bamboo and some bone meal, then once you first place it, it gets this cool little spiky thing. But if you were to just place it like this, then it would just be like this, which isn't that good. Except this has been used a lot for special things, like I'm pretty sure you can place trapdoors and stuff on it, make a better table than, it's just a thinner version of a fence. Sorry, I got the sniffles. When you bone meal it, it gets these nice little, like, tufts. And here is a small little hut design for bamboo. Now, this is also kind of equal parts of jungle, I would say. I think it fits for both, but it does look really nice. And now, on to Cherry. Cherry, it's a really nice block. It's the girly block. I'm just kidding. It's got a really nice soft shade to it, so that allows for some really nice looking buildings. Along with the strip version having a much more prominent color, which allows it to stand out more and be a larger pop of color. Now, don't ask why the hanging sign and the shelves are this color while the regular sign in every other block basically is this color. They're weird with that. And also, something fun is you can actually, I forgot to show this, I believe you can just basically create, yeah, a little cotton candy thing with the strip version, which is really neat. So over here is some pretty simple, what's it called, designs for gradients, like a simple cherry to white, cherry to purple, and cherry to sandstone. You know, the best color that totally exists. But anyways, so cherry always pairs very well with the white tones. So your calcite, your white wool, your diorite, your quartz, they always pair very well with that. So that's always a safe bet. And I've seen some use of mud bricks and spruce. Same thing with some stone and calcite. And a lot of times I do also see it used with some birch and some deep slate. Now over here we have an actual cherry tree. It's short and stubby, but it still looks pretty good. I believe I'm gonna change this out if I were to actually make one. Make it a different block, because I think as of now it looks too red-ish. Like, it's too deep in color, so that is unfortunate, but I do really like it. Also, something to mention with the unstripped version. I don't remember where, but it is very useful. I know, it's so helpful in a tutorial, but it I remember it being used in like a palette or something, but I just don't remember what. If you guys know, leave it in the comments. Over here we have a simple little cottage home thing. It's not much, but it does look really good to have these pairings of the white and the light pink. So, that's gonna wrap it up for today's episode. I hope you enjoy, and see you next time. Bye!